Hello everyone, it's Emily here from Peachtree Crafts and welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Emily and I film all sorts of crafty things, and in 2023 I made it my goal to read 33 books, and spoiler alert, I did it. I was able to reach my goal. So I have just been filming and documenting the books that I've read last year, writing little reviews, and putting them all together in this little reading album or journal. In today's video, I'm documenting The Monster of Eldenhaven, which was a really quick ebook that I read. And then I also read Beautiful Boy by David Sheff. And then these three books here are some books that I had to read for my first semester of grad school. So the classes that I took for those required me to read a few textbooks and other journals and articles and things too, but so I just decided to document those as well since I did actually read them. Very proud of myself for doing so. And yeah, I figured I would kind of keep it at a normal pace for this video. I usually tend to speed these up quite a bit, but I thought that I would just kind of show you real time almost, because I did speed it up to from 1 to 1.5, so it's just a little bit sped up because I don't think you want to be here all day, but I thought that around 10 minutes was a good length for these type of videos so that you can kind of watch how I put everything together. And they don't normally take me long since I do use the pockets that come with the album, so everything is either 3x4 or 4x6, so usually I try to at least choose the papers kind of off camera so that I have an idea of what I want to do in the color scheme for things. And then I print all of my pictures off camera as well. So sometimes I do like just the book covers like I did here, and then you'll see in the next shot or on the back of this spread that I did take a picture of the books on my desk. So I kind of try to switch it up every once in a while just so that way it's not too boring. In The Monster of Eldenhaven, I'm writing my little review here. I did this one as an ebook, like I said, so I checked it out from Libby. And if you enjoy reading and you've never heard of Libby, you should definitely check it out. I might have mentioned it in one of my other reading album videos, but if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's an app that connects to your local library and gives you access to millions of books and audiobooks and magazines and movies, and it's all from your phone. So it's really cool, and it's one of the main reasons why I was able to successfully reach my goal of 33 books, because if I were having to buy all of these books or go to the library in person to check them out, I think it would just take me a little bit longer. I like being able to scroll through Libby and check out books on there. And of course, audiobooks help a lot because you can listen to them while you're doing laundry or driving to work or whatever. So it kind of helps me get through a lot more books. And this one was pretty good. I think this book was only around 120 pages. It was pretty short. And I read this one for Halloween because I thought it would be like a good creepy read. And it was a little creepy. It was a little confusing as well because it's got some like magical type of regenerative sort of magic, because this guy basically he can't die, and he discovered that from when he was really young, but he's like a homeless guy, and then he meets this like dark I guess wizard kind of, this guy who can do magic, and the magician's goal is to set a plague upon his hometown because his hometown like I don't want to give too much away, but basically they didn't help him when he was younger, and so now he wants to release a plague on them. And so this match is kind of works out because you have this guy who can't necessarily die, but he's the perfect test subject for all of these plagues and parasites that the magician is coming up with. And of course, there's some other little quirky things that happen, and it really wasn't a scary book. It was just a little dark, I guess, and definitely not a read that everyone would enjoy, but check it out if it sounds interesting to you. You might actually like it. I think I gave this one 2 out of 5 stars. It might have actually been 3 out of 5 stars. I'm pretty sure that it was a translated book, so obviously, you know, you can't judge those too hard because there's a lot of things that are lost in translation from one language to another. So, yeah, but overall, I thought it was pretty good, and I thought her writing was really well done, even with the translations. And now I'm just adding some kind of more decorative elements to this. So I thought this owl was cool because it's got kind of these like creepy eyes. And the paper that I am using here, it has buildings on it, which throughout the book, it gives a lot of imagery into the town. And there's lots of buildings and things like that. And so I just thought the owl was creepy and the buildings kind of match the theme, the town. And then I did add a tassel off camera, and I did that to kind of weigh this down, since this was kind of like a lifting sort of thing to where you could open it and look at the review, but to keep it from opening all of the time, I just added that tassel. And you see that my clothing has changed a little bit, and so has the lighting, because while I was filming that first take, my camera actually died, so I had to let it charge for a little bit before I could film it again. And you're going to see that I actually have a third take, because while I was filming this one, somebody happened to stop by. We had a couple of friends coming over for New Year's Eve, so they came a little bit early, and so I just kind of stopped filming and then finished it off the next day. You'll just see kind of the final flip through. But anyways, I'm working on the other pocket for this spread, the last one, and this is my review of Beautiful Boy. Oh my gosh, I cannot say enough good things about this book. It is so, so good. It is a memoir from the father's perspective of his son, who is a meth addict. So it's kind of talking about how addiction can not only affect just like the one person who is struggling, but also an entire family, an entire generation, really. And he is a writer, and so he wrote for different newspapers and magazines and things like that. So he had access to a lot of like researchers and people that he could interview and get more information. So he also has all kinds of facts and information about addiction, about meth, about opioids. It's so good. And of course, it's not just a bunch of statistics and facts, and it's more than just addiction. It's so well written. There's a lot of emotion that's conveyed, and it talks about his family, everything. Yeah, I don't want to give too much away, but you should definitely read it. It's so good. And even if you are not somebody who's like affected by addiction, or if that's something that like scares you, I think that it's still just something that everyone should know about, because it talks a lot about how addiction, specifically meth addiction, was kind of started in the US and how it's been handled since the start of it, which I feel like is just crazy. It also gives you a lot of information about rehab facilities, which I didn't know that like anybody could just start up a rehab facility. And most of the time it's not doctors who are organizing those and starting them. So just, again, a really, really good read. I learned a lot. And I cried a lot, but it's good. And they recently did a movie adaptation of it with Steve Carell and Timothée Chalamet as the two stars of the movie. And yeah, they did an amazing job with that movie adaptation. Normally, I am so picky about those, and I'm always like going in with the mindset of like, it's not going to be as good as the book. But I watched it with my brother and his fiance, and then my husband. So we all watched it together, and it was really fun, because we had a lot to talk about, because again, it's just one of those movies that makes you think, and you just don't realize how much the addiction plagues our society, and especially America. So anyways, now I'm documenting the textbooks that I read, and I was just writing that I was actually really proud of myself for truly reading these. I feel like with undergrad, you can get a lot away with a lot of the time just skimming your reads and your articles and your books, but for these ones, I was not able to do that, just because of the nature of the assignments that I was doing, and the writing reflections, and some of the research papers that I had to do. It really did require me to fully read these books. And actually a couple of them were really good. I really liked the one about deculturalization and equity in American education. I thought that was really eye-opening and very historically accurate. It talks about how cultures have been deculturalized over time through schooling, through politics, through certain laws that were enacted. And then it talks about how those affect the current times today, because sometimes we forget that, like, you know, it wasn't that long ago that there were white schools and that there were black schools, and, you know, segregation was a thing. Like, it really wasn't that long ago from now, and that still has a major effect on how people feel and how people act in schools. Like it's not as a safe place as many of us think. So anyways, I really enjoyed that one. And then the other one that I liked was called Lesson Planning with Purpose. And if you're a teacher, that's a good read because it just kind of goes through different models of lesson planning and how we have to set certain intentions and how not every single lesson plan works for what you're trying to teach. So there's like a behaviorist model, a constructionist model, different things like that. It is very technical, so some of the terminology is a little bit lost on me because I'm just now starting my first semester in grad school, so I haven't learned a lot. I think that this class maybe would have been a little bit better if I was a little bit further down the road, but either way, I still enjoyed the read. I thought it was really cool. And then the one that I didn't love as much is called Professional Capital, and so it's just talking about there's different types of capital that each person has. There's human capital, social capital, and then how can we use that to better ourselves in our profession. And that one's not even just geared towards teaching, I would say. I think it's kind of geared towards every job and everybody. And I just didn't love it as much because it almost feels like kind of the ways that we used people in order to get further in our own careers, and I don't really like thinking about it like that. I think that's kind of scummy, but I don't know. If you're into job books and reading about things to enhance your career, then I think that you might like that one. I did change out the sticker on this one because I had a big sticker that I cut apart to say everything. That was something that the dad and the son said to each other whenever he would have to leave to go to the airport. So I just kind of added that as a homage to the book. And this is my final flip through of everything, and you'll see me put it in the album here. You'll also get a little bit of a sneak peek of some of the reads that I have done this year and some of the ones to come. So I hope that you guys enjoyed watching this. I know these videos don't typically get a lot of views, but I still really enjoy making them. So let me know if you have any suggestions for how I can make them better or more interesting. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.